Hi, this is Vincent with SCA Iowa and another introductory video for the Society for Creative Anachronism. The SCA is a worldwide historic recreation organization dedicated to recreating all the best parts of the Middle Ages. Anything that was made, used, consumed before 1600, we have friends who enjoy learning about it, exploring it, trying it, teaching others about it. It's a way to explore history hands-on. Now we do this at a variety of events and meetings across the country and around the world. And one of the things that's bound to happen whenever you gather friends together is food. Nothing brings a community of friends together like sharing a meal or even just a few snacks. This is especially true at our meetings and events that happen within the Society for Creative Anachronism. There are several ways that we do enjoy food and beverages at our weekend events. This video is going to describe a couple of these options so that you know you won't go hungry when you're having your medieval adventure. Of course, all of our events are a little bit different from one another. So this video is talking about some of the features that appear at certain events. They are things that do regularly occur, and hopefully this information is useful for you so you know what to bring along. One of the ways that people enjoy food at our weekend events is with the lunchtime inns. Inns come in all shapes and sizes, but generally are those lunchtime meals that are provided so that people don't have to leave site in order to recharge. Some lunch inns are included with the cost of the site fee. Others have set prices or priced a la carte per item. Others run on free will donation and people toss in a few dollars to cover what they take. In general, cutlery and tableware are provided for most lunchtime inns. People could bring their own tableware if they wish to save on using disposables. These meals are often served cafeteria or buffet style, and the focus really is on getting some food for people so they can return back to the fun that they're already having at the event. The food can vary from modern food options with items like brats and burgers, or it could include more historically inspired food options. At most events, it's also possible for you to bring your own picnic lunch or snacks along, and it's fairly common for a group of friends to organize a spread of munchy items or light snacks to share amongst themselves and some friends at the event. Obviously, it's always polite to ask before assuming that you can join in on the snacks that someone brought for their friends. These private little picnics can vary widely in complexity, from something close to a small meal down to just a meat and cheese platter. But having your own snacks along also gives you the option of eating when you need to. Both lunchtime inns and the small private meals that people bring along are fairly informal. On the other end of the scale are the very formalized feasts that are held at certain events. Although not as common as they once were, there are many events that do still feature evening feasts held after court where a limited number of seats are sold for a multi-course meal inspired by historic recipes. These are prepared and served to those who are attending the feast. The price of such feasts can range quite a bit, but in my experience, it's less than going out to a nice dinner. You also get the benefit of being able to sit around and enjoy the meal with all of your friends from the event, as well as having the attendance of the kingdom's royalty and their guests at the head table. This adds to the festive mood of the evening and the feelings of recreating a feast from time gone by. It's part of the fun. One of the differences is that tableware and cutlery is not provided at feasts, so each person is expected to provide their own plates, bowls, and silverware. Bringing along a napkin is also a good idea. Some people go as far as bringing along candles, tablecloths, and other personal decorations just to decorate things up a bit. Some people starting out often find that all they need to do is have a quick stop at a secondhand store where ceramic, wooden, or metal plates and bowls can be found really for just a few dollars. Food served at these feasts varies widely, but often can follow specific themes. The head cook for an event and those helping them often try to match the themes and the recipes to the food or theme of the event or the time period of the event. It's very common to find some fairly safe options like bread, cheese, and fruit, but they will quite often experiment with other medieval recipes and sometimes can quite challenge a modern palate. It's also quite common to find a children's feast provided for some of the more picky palates. The occasional dinner of mac and cheese and chicken nuggets is also often seen as the children enjoy their own revelries off to the side. One of the challenges that our cooks have to deal with at feasts is to try to address the food limitations some people face and the allergy concerns of those attending. Although it's impossible to match everybody's needs in a large crowd, the cooks will often try to address concerns if they are aware of them. This is one of the reasons why the contact information for the cooks of an event are often provided well in advance, as well as the menus and information about other allergy or food sensitivity information. It's unfortunate that sometimes we just can't meet the needs of some people. Often in these cases, special arrangements can be made so that they can bring along the food that they need and still enjoy the festivities. Now, on rare occasions, there are events that do not allow outside food to be brought into the event. These are normally events that are held at schools or facilities that have their own established catering contracts. Schools will often use SCA events as fundraisers, so require no outside food be brought in to allow them to make maximum profit. Clearly, this isn't the most convenient arrangement, but when we are very limited on the sites that we are able to use for our groups, sometimes we just don't have any choice. For the people who do have food limitations, the usual response to this is to bring along food or snacks that they need and keep it out in their vehicle to eat. It's not elegant, it's not convenient, but in the times when we're finding it a real challenge for a non-profit to find sites to use, it's somewhat of a necessity. I should also bring up food while camping at camping events. Although this really is up to personal preferences, you can bring along whatever food you wish to cook. Most of us rely on either pre-prepared or somewhat modern meals that we can easily cook on a camp stove when we're in an encampment. Some people enjoy the challenge of cooking more historically accurate food, perhaps over a campfire or over charcoal. There can be a challenge with this due to some site restrictions on open campfires or risks of wildfires. Now, there are many different solutions that people employ when they are camping, and it really comes down to the individual to find out what works for them. Some people really do go all out when they're camping and explore the history of food while they're participating at the event. I did advertise this as a video covering both food and beverage, so we should cover some beverages as well. First off, the most important thing to say is to stay hydrated. Many of our main events are held outside, especially during warmer weather. Those of us who work more sedentary indoor jobs often forget the importance of drinking a lot of water when we are exercising or when we're out in the sun. The importance of drinking water at events really can't be overstated. It's a safety issue. There are times when people bring along adult beverages to enjoy at events, but there are also some sites that limit alcohol consumption on the premises. This is usually known well before the event and often posted on the website of the event or on event flyers when the event is announced. Unfortunately, this is usually done in a way that is somewhat encoded, and if you don't know the jargon, you won't be able to decode it. So let's review a few of those right now. A wet site is a site that allows the open consumption of alcohol. A dry site is a site that does not allow alcohol to be consumed on the premises. Sometimes this is stated as a very dry site. This is often when the owners of the event site have very strict rules against alcohol on the premises, such as schools or churches. Occasionally, you might see terms like discreetly wet, meaning that alcohol can be consumed, but they don't wish to see any open containers, so they would prefer people to pour their alcoholic beverages into a mug or some other drinking vessel to disguise what you're drinking. You may also see a discreetly damp term used, which is confusing but usually intended to mean, yeah, you can drink alcohol if you really want to, but you probably shouldn't, but you can, but maybe you should pour it into a container and then just enjoy it quietly. Obviously, at all of our events, alcoholic beverages should be consumed only by those who are legally allowed to consume alcohol. When private encampments or groups host parties where alcohol could be consumed, they are very likely going to card people to make sure only adults are consuming alcohol. You may want to plan on carrying your ID with you at some of the larger events that you are attending and when you're attending the evening parties. There are many opportunities to make, consume, and enjoy food with our friends as we gather together for events within the Society for Creative Anachronism. Whether you are enjoying gathering together with a large group to prepare a historically inspired meal with the other cooks in the kitchen, or simply gather around a campfire preparing a small meal for some close friends. Food has always brought people together, and after all, staying well fed and hydrated keeps you energized as you explore more of your medieval adventure in the Society for Creative Anachronism.